Hello all of my loves, how are you? It's been 2 weeks since we last talked, which can feel like ages, honestly. In between, if I miss a show, it feels like forever. Just one show, it'll feel like I haven't done one in ages. But last Sunday it was Charlie's birthday, and this weekend we did his party, but on his actual birthday we just kind of chilled and hung out, and we just took that day. So sorry about the no video, I apologize, but I'm back. And as promised, I said with my post last Sunday or last Monday that I would be doing this episode about Mean Girls and the takeover of Regina George in the pinup scene. Yeah, so we're going to be talking about Mean Girls. We're going to be talking about kind of the issues that are going on in the pinup community, because there's a big overtaking of Mean Girls, it seems like usual, in that, and we're gonna hash it out. So get ready, boys and girls and all genders in between, because it's probably gonna get salty. So have any of y'all gotten your Monday coffee mugs yet? You can get them from my friends at Forever Above Me. They're the ones that make my mug. There's 2 different kinds available, and when you get them, do hashtag Monday Coffee with the Doll so I can feature your beautiful faces on my feed and tell you thank you so much for supporting me. So this week I wanted to do Mean Girls, and you know, it's kind of one of those things that I feel like everybody's like, yeah, we've heard that topic. Every female blogger blogs about Mean Girls. Every, you know, chick that's doing anything talks about Mean Girls. And it's like, well, if that's the case, like if it's so widely supported, you know, talking about anti-mean girl and anti-bullying and anti-girl shaming and girl on girl hate, then why is it running so rampant? You know what I mean? I feel like it's across social media, much like a lot of other things that people support. People like to talk a big game, but then they don't really do anything about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just for show. Everybody wants to you know, get on board with the anti this and the anti that, and standing up for this and standing up for that. But there are so many of them, I feel, that it really is just a front on their social media, because then you find out about people, or you personally know people, and you actually experience interaction, and you're like, well, that's not you at all. You know, you're literally the opposite of what you preach. And that's a really big turnoff for me. It's a really big turnoff for me because, you know, it's so obvious. It's so obvious, and it's like, do you not respect me at all? Do you really think I'm that stupid? And I get added by a lot of girls who follow my work, and they send me a friend request on Facebook, and I love making new friends. If I didn't have social media, I would not have as many friends as I do, because I get to really interact with a lot of different people, and because of the work that I'm in. And a lot of people reach out to me to send friend requests, and then you know, they send me messages, I didn't think you would accept, or I'm just a big fan, but what I love is that I actually get to know a lot of the people who support me and follow me, and you guys are a big part of my life. And I really love interacting and getting to know my female followers. And I always give my male followers a chance. I'm waiting for that. What about the men? Emily, you have to be equal. I'm all about equal. And I try to add a lot of male followers, but unfortunately, a lot of male followers that I add just, I mean, send me pictures of their penises that I didn't ask for. It's like, why did you send me a picture of a toe on a table? I didn't ask for that. And women don't. But my point is that I add a lot of people because you know, I love making those connections. I have really bad social anxiety, so I feel like it's an opportunity for me to really experience and enjoy different souls and different energies, but in a way that my social anxiety doesn't really allow in real life. But you know, it's one of those things that also opens me up to a lot of different negative energies too. And you know, we all experience mean girls, every single one of us, and I'm going to be using this in a term as far as like the pinup community goes, because that's a huge thing that I've been involved in for a long time. But it's everywhere. It's in anything. It's at work, it's at school, it's in, you know, different cliques and different, you know, your relationships. It's like you can't do anything. I stopped getting involved in pinup groups a long time ago because I was so tired of women using something that was so important to me that I used as a tool to help women learn to be confident and learn to love themselves, and is the thing that taught me how to love myself and really, you know, be brave and confident in who I am. And they're literally destroying that foundation of what modern pinup can bring to women in today's world. It's a really empowering, it's just an empowering scene, everything about it. You know, I don't think I've ever met one woman who's done a pinup shoot or kind of got involved in something pinup and she didn't feel amazing. But also, I mean, it's something that really gets a lot of attention. You know, when you look like this, it gets a lot of attention, and mean girls love attention. You know what I'm saying? Where there's attention, mean girls will follow. They thrive on it. And when you get that many personalities all in the same activities, there's always going to be drama. And what I didn't like was I didn't like the sugar-coated facade of basically just crappy personalities. You know, you would have people start groups and you'd get involved, and then before you know it, somebody's getting bullied, somebody's lying about somebody, somebody's talking crap about somebody's claiming that they're, you know, making money for charity but really just stealing it. You know what I'm saying? If you've been in a pinup group for any amount of time, you know the kind of drama I'm talking about. And I removed myself from that because I couldn't handle it. I couldn't handle, you know, just the constant backbiting, lying, fakeness that people have. And what I can't stand the most is I cannot stand people who claim to be, you know, an activist or a voice against things like bullying, body and self-love. I cannot stand people who are trying to get the credit for being an activist for something like that, but really they are 100% the opposite of whatever it is they stand for. And I struggle when girls will add me and they will send me messages and they're like, hey, I love what you do, I love your message and what you stand for, and they'll tell me about their struggles and what they've gone through. And I love it. You know, that's a big part of what I do. I mentor and counsel girls all day online. I love helping you guys and talking with you guys, and if I can share anything that I've been through that can help you get through a hard time, you know, that's a huge part of why I love what I do. And when you message me that stuff and then within a week I'm seeing you openly bully and just be as abusive as you can to somebody who you just don't like or somebody you don't even know, I go through the Instagram discovery feed, you know, looking for inspiration all the time. And the thing that always hurts my heart so much is when I'll click on a model's photo that's grabbed my attention and she'll have like 12,000 likes or like tons and tons of comments. And I'm sure she's probably not looking at all of them, but when I look at the comments and you'll see just girls who just come across it and they'll just leave the meanest comments for no reason, just because they're insecure or that girl made them feel not good enough for even a split second, and they leave the ugliest comments. And it's just so disheartening. It's like, that is such gross, horrible behavior. Like, do you not have anything else to do with your time? Like, I can recommend some really great things to do. I just started reading the Harry Potter series because I have a Kindle, and oh my gosh, it's amazing. Your time would be so much better served finding out which house you would be sorted through Hashtag Hufflepuff for life. You know, there's so much more you could be doing with your time, and I feel like so many women spend so much time posting and talking really big about themselves and you know, how they're mistreated or how other girls feel about them or how they're always the victim, when in turn, you know, it's just them causing trouble, causing grief, causing strife in other people's lives. And then you constantly have to work to hide that. You constantly have to work to build this fake facade so people don't really know how much of a mean girl you are. And what is that going to do for you in life? How is that going to serve you? Because, you know, newsflash, nobody likes Regina George. Regina George loves herself and she thinks everybody likes her, but she doesn't. And if I've ever learned anything from a chick flick, or if I've ever learned anything from watching like 1 through a million seasons of America's Next Top Model, that bitch never makes it to where she wants to go in life, because she's not that bitch. She's just a bitch. And it's sad. It hurts my heart that, you know, that's where you choose to be, and for what? I've gone through a lot of hell having girls just like me for no reason. They just dislike me. They can't stand me. They don't know why. I don't think a lot of the times. I think some girls just have this trigger that some girls' faces set off. I don't know how else to explain it. But I mean, how many can say, present, that they don't even have had to do anything for a mean girl to just target them? Not at all. And it's so draining. You know, I have so many women come to me who are just emotionally and spiritually drained from dealing with mean girls. 100%. And I can say from experience, it is 100% a very draining and hard thing to deal with. And you know, it really sucks when you work so hard for something, or you know, you're just working to get through life, period, and somebody just comes out of nowhere and they just start talking crap about you and lying about you and making things up about you, and you try to be defensive, like you try to defend yourself and you try to disarm it and do what you can, but all that's gonna do is drain you more. You know, that's what I found. You know, I had an entire group of girls target me and, you know, go out of their way to do things to try and hurt me. They made up lies. They tried to post videos that nobody really cared about. But they worked really hard to try and destroy who I was and what I had worked so hard building. And you don't have to do anything for girls like that to target you. There are just girls out there that have really ugly hearts. And unfortunately, you know, a lot of people will say, Emily, everybody, you don't know what somebody's story is. You don't know what they've gone through. Okay, well, exactly. Thank you. You know, we've all been through something that is detrimental, and we all have to be accountable for how we handle it and treat others. And you don't get to use trauma or past experiences as excuses to abuse and bully other people. Do you guys hear that dirt bike? There is a little boy that keeps riding up and down my street on a dirt bike and he's driving me crazy. But you don't get that. That's not an excuse. You don't get to do that. I'm sorry that you're hurting, and I'm sorry that maybe something's making you react to people that way. But I will be the first person to say, come to me, let me know, and I'll help you find more positive outlets. You know what I'm saying? I recently had a girl that was a part of that group, and she never personally did anything to me that I know of. But she reached out to me recently and she apologized for her behavior with the group, or, you know, being a part of them, because she took responsibility. She said, I was a part of the Mean Girls Club that I know and watched and participated in at times, bully and, you know, treat other girls like crap. And I'm realizing that it's toxic and it's horrible and I regret it and I'm so sorry. And she came to me and she apologized. And I'm gonna tell you, a lot of people would probably have been like, look at this is amazing, this is amazing, this is amazing. I was happy because I knew that that meant she could go do better things. You know, and she told me about her life and what she's doing and how much better off she is. And I applauded her and I cheered her on, and I told her, you know what, I'm happy because we get to be friends, and I get to learn who you are and enjoy that type of relationship. But I'm really sorry that you had to lose your friends, because even though they were assholes, you loved them and they were important to you, and you had to let them go for reasons that are uncalled for and unnecessary, and that sucks. But I told her that I was proud of her and that I know that that had to have been really scary and good for her. And she went on her way to go apologize to more people, and that's what we need. Like, that's the type, like, if you were a jerk to somebody, just own it and be genuinely sorry. Like, you don't have to be a mean girl. You choose to be a mean girl. You don't have to be ugly. You choose to be ugly. You know what I mean? And it's really unfair that girls just are allowed to walk around and abuse and bully other girls. And it's like, well, I don't want to say anything because if I say anything, they're going to lash out at me even more. You're probably right. You're definitely right. It can be hard taking that on. It can be really stressful and really scary to be a voice. And sometimes a voice isn't necessarily the thing that matters or changes things as much as holding people accountable in the moment. You know what I mean? I got in a lot of trouble because I was at a car show and there was a pinup contest, and there was a lot of girls that when the girls they were competing against got off stage, they were saying really horrible things about them, calling them fat in their dresses and laughing at them. I got in trouble because I stood up to that. I said, this isn't okay. This isn't what pinup is for. This isn't what pinup is about. You guys are literally the opposite of why all of us are here. Pinup contests are about the embracement of your femininity and your sexuality and your sassiness and your personality and who you are. It's about fun and embracing one another, and it's about feeling yourself and going out there and just living and having a good time as the beautiful, brave, strong, sassy woman that you are. And all it is now is a bunch of women trying to push each other off stage to hopefully they'll break their leg and they won't have to compete with them. Like, it's gross and it's really hurtful that, you know, you would say that you can't defend yourself against that. I've had so many women who, when I call out a mean girl, are like, Emily, isn't this exactly what you're saying that they are doing? That's not okay. No, it's not. Holding a bully accountable for their behavior by putting them in their place or calling them out isn't bullying. It's holding people accountable and standing up for what's right. And as girls, we need to stand up for each other. You know what I mean? I can't stand it when I've had girlfriends who I talk to them about like the horrible stuff that's happening, and then they'll be like, oh, I totally know, she totally lied, she did this, she did that, she's a horrible person, we know for a fact, we saw it, we were there. And then the next day they're like in a picture, I got to see so-and-so at the car show and I was so happy. And I'm like, she was literally just calling one of our best friends fat in her dress at the contest. What is that? Like, that's the type of stuff that needs to stop. We need to stand up for our friends. We need to support each other. We need to tell people, hey, what you're doing is wrong. It's gross, and we're not going to be involved with you. You can scoot over. When you get it together, then you can come sit with us. But until then, you don't get to sit with us. You don't get to participate. You don't get to be a part of this because what you're doing doesn't represent us. It's that easy. Well, it's really not easy. Then you're going to probably get abused even more. But what's important is that you know in your heart, and the people that love you and the people that you're friends with that are there for you, that's who you spend that time with. You tell them, you fact check them, and then you go and you be you, boo. And you love yourself, and you just embrace the people who love you, who you are, and you ixnay that out. 100%. It's hard and it sucks, and we all deal with it 100%. We all go through it. Not a single one of us has ever been safe from a mean girl. It doesn't matter if you're beautiful or you're skinny or you're fat or you're curvy or your hair is perfect or your hair is not perfect, you have perfect skin, or you know, you have cool clothes, or you're friends with freaking Jeffree Star. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You're always going to be a target to somebody. But we have to stop allowing those ugly hearts to take over how we see ourselves or how we live our life. And the day that I decided to stop caring about what those women who didn't even know me thought about me, and I stepped away and worked on my heart and my mind, and I made sure that I was happy and strong and healthy in what I was doing, I came back 10 times better, and they haven't been able to knock me down since. It's okay to have hard times, and it's okay to, you know, feel that emotion, because it sucks and it hurts, but we have to stop allowing the Regina Georges in the world to control our futures. You know what I mean? Like, too many of them just come in and wipe the floor with kind hearts, and I don't want to see that anymore. I'm tired of seeing my girlfriends hurt, and I'm tired of seeing my girlfriends cry and tell me that they're on the verge of such, just, they're at their ends, and it's horrible, and it's for nothing. It's for girls who want to claim all these big things and then just turn around and do the total opposite. They want all of the good quickly, but they don't want to earn it, so they lash out on anybody who's worked there to get it. Mean girls are all triggered by the same thing. They're always lashing out at the girls that made them rethink themselves. And just because a girl makes you think about something doesn't mean she's your enemy. Like, it's like one of my best friends in the whole world. She hated me when she saw me. She absolutely hated me when she saw me, and she thought we were going to be arch enemies. But you know what she did? She got to know me. And now I would eat prison food for her. Like, and prison doesn't have pizza, so that's a stretch for me. But we need to start working harder towards standing together so we can start changing hearts of mean girls. I think we need to just keep being us, keep being bold, brilliant, beautiful souls, and let the mean girls, just let them hate. If they want to live in that type of personality and that type of energy, and that's how they want to live their lives, let them. Stop defending yourself. You have nothing to defend yourself over. Oh, you were just loving life, you were just enjoying yourself, you were just participating in something that makes you happy. Oh my gosh, you're such a bitch, you shouldn't be allowed to do that. No, that's not how we live our lives, okay? That's not how we live our lives. And that's all I have to say about that. Alright, so in closing, I just want to say, I guess, that as a woman out here in the world, you know, striving so hard to love herself and be healthy and happy and mentally sound, you know, I never hesitate to step outside myself to help another woman reach that, or help her reach that. And I think we really need to start thinking harder. There's no reason to be ugly. There's no reason to leave comments on other girls' photos that tear them apart. There's no reason to just be hateful and catty, and there's no reason to lie about people. There's no reason to lash out. You're not getting anywhere. You're not gaining anything positive for yourself. Do you not want something positive for yourself? Because you should. You know, there's so much out there, and what's really sad is that you're missing out on knowing so many beautiful women. I've had so many women contact me with heartache of a girl just doing everything in her power to destroy her, and all I can think about is, wow, you're such a beautiful person. I get to know you, and all I've seen is beauty, and it's really sad that they choose instead to try and hurt you instead of know you, because they're really missing out. And we need to start you know, really looking at ourselves like that. These women are missing out. You're strong and you're bold and you're chasing things that are important to you and you're working towards just everything you want in life, and it's going to intimidate people. And I don't see myself as one of those intimidating types, but you know, there's gonna be something about everybody that can at times set other people off, and instead of checking themselves and holding themselves accountable, they lash out. And it's gross, and it needs to stop. And I will always be the type of girl who freaking puts you in your place and deletes you off my list and let you know when not just your dress is ugly, but your heart is being ugly, because there's no need for it. We need to start working harder for that. So with that being said, I am going to close the production. Do you guys like my shirt? I was really drawn to it because it has these like old school girl avatars. They were all over my MySpace when I was younger. And it says, "Girls need to support girls." It's by _Milk Shakespeare on Instagram. I came across her and bought one of these shirts because I just thought it was awesome. But I'll put her handle down there and her link so you guys can maybe find one. I don't know if she still has any left. I want to thank our beautiful sponsors. If you want to be a sponsor of Monday Coffee with the Doll, just feel free to hit me up from the email below. But I want to thank Forever Above Me Clothing for always supporting Monday Coffee with the Doll and anything the doll does, even though everything the doll does is crazy. If you guys want to be a part of a family that is all about support and love and acceptance and no judging, Forever Above Me is an awesome brand to follow. They put out some really cool things, but they have a really good message too, so that's why I love them so much. And then also, I want to give a shout out to my personal lucite designer, Miss Deluxe Creations and Designs. She's an Australian-based lucite jewelry creator. She hand makes these custom 2-gauge plugs for me. As you can see, they're absolutely gorgeous. She also makes really cool shifter knobs for guys if you want a beautiful sparkly shifter knob, but she's amazing. And today's Monday Coffee Kisser was brought to you by NYX Slip Tees. I am wearing Koi Seductua. It's kind of a pink light. It's nice. It stays in place. It wears really well. It has long-lasting power. It's a little tacky. It's a little tacky to the touch, but it doesn't transfer, so that's good. It's not one of the best, but it's definitely one of my favorites that I enjoy. And I'm also wearing some of my beautiful chunky biodegradable glitter from my Glitter Babes line with Trigger Happy Cosmetics, which you can still pick up. This is called Stars in Her Eyes. It's one of our bigger, chunkier body glitters, but I absolutely love just having a little bit of a sparkle. Plus it matches my earrings, and I was like, hello. But know that I love your faces. I think you're amazing. You can always sit at my table. Regina George can even come sit at my table if she gets her act together, you know. Forgiveness is always in the forefront of my kindness, and I'm pretty proud of myself with some of my actions at times, because it can be hard. But thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting. I hope that you guys are still enjoying this show. If you have any topics or anything you want to talk about, feel free to send me an email at thevintagedollfanmail at gmail.com. And remember that I love your faces so much. Thank you for constantly spreading the message of kindness and light, because it's a very important job and one of the hardest. So remember that these are the days that fill your week. I'm gonna go watch Netflix and make it amazing.